Universal access to family planning is one of the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by 193 countries in 2015. According to a Performance Monitoring and Accountability Survey in 2017, the reverse is the case as most women do not adopt this modern contraception, let alone have any idea about them. That's our focus today on Soundhealth. I'm Olasumbo. Welcome to the show.
I know about a few. I don't think I know that many. Well, they're good if it's necessary for you as a lady to use them. If you think that you cannot do the abstinence thing, then it is better to use contraceptives, seeing as you don't want the unwanted pregnancy, avoiding abortions and all of that, and STDs.
It will make sense if family will engage in how to plan the number of kids they will have in the home, how they will do their economical life, so that it will be able to measure up to the standard of their living. When you talk of abstinence, it's not easy for people to abstain because, number one, body is not a wood. Even if someone is a clergy, it's not easy. So if somebody is married, they can have some ways of kind of planning their home. But if the person is not married, I will advise abstinence.
Tí mo rí tèmi fojú fi ní ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí yẹn ní apá kan tá a bá fojú inú wò ó wà òkè, tá a bá ìtún fojú wò lápá kan kò tún wà òkè. Torí tèmi rí mbẹ̀ tèmi fi ní kó wà òkè ni pé ẹ̀sìn táwa ń sìn Islam ni wá, àwa máa ń fẹ́ bá ànábì wọlé ọ̀la, bá a bá yìí ṣe pọ̀ sí náà láti jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀sìn yẹn sí. Tí mo rí mbẹ̀ tèmi nìyẹn. Mi lè gba láàyè o, iye tọ́lọ́ máa fẹ́ mi ní o. Ìyàwó 9 ni dáàdì mi fẹ́, ọmọ tó sì bí àwa sì ń ṣe dáadáa lórí ilẹ̀ ìsìn. Tá a bá ti wá jẹ́ pé fètò wá sí ni sáà lè pọ̀ á sì lè máa ṣe dáadáa lórí ilẹ̀, kò pọ̀ sí i.
So ní ìfẹ́ sí pé òkè tí àwọn yín bá bí mọ lẹ́nu tó bá máa fi doṣù 6 tó bá tún lóyún mi ó ti bá yín lára mu.
Ọlọ́run ní ṣètò ayé, ẹ̀dá kan tó lè sọ pé òun ṣètò ayé òsì tó bá fún mi lọ́mọ lẹ́nì tó tún dọ̀la tó fún mi mi alhamdulillah, mo dúpẹ́ fọlọ́ ni.
Lára ìyàwó yóò bá gbà ń kọ sára ò bá tí ì.
Ṣé rí mọ́mì wa, ṣé rí ọ̀rọ̀ ìyàwó àtọkọ nǹkan kékeré ni sóti àlọ́ Ọlọ́run ní ṣètò ayé. Kí ni mo sọ fún yín? Ọlọ́run ní ṣètò ayé, kọ́lọ́run máa bá wa sí ni. Bá a bá bímọ lẹ́nì tó bá kú lọ́la kí la fẹ́ sí fọlọ́run, sàlẹ́jọ́ tá pọ̀ lọ́ni. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn náà, Ọlọ́run ní dá wa láàmú.
I think it's a good idea if compulsory, because I don't really buy the idea of using it except from being married and you want to control your childbirth. But I prefer abstinence. Number one, your mind will be at rest against getting pregnant, against sexual transmitted diseases and other things. You'll be perfectly at rest. And these contraceptives, they have their own side effects in the body. Fine, the pharmacist or the doctors will tell you that they are 100% perfect. They are not.
For youth, I think it's best because most youths, like people of my age, are not ready to get pregnant because they are not yet married. While some, because they are not in that right position to take care of a baby. I think contraceptive is good for youths and especially in quotes for those people that have sex and they don't want pregnancy.
Thanks for standing by. It's still Soundhealth on Lagos Television, and today we are looking at improved access to the use of contraception. And I have with me Dr. Olajide Johnson, a consultant gynecologist and the Chief Medical Officer with the Ministry of Defense. Welcome to the program, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
So, to start with, why does contraception matter?
Well, contraception is of importance because looking at it, Conception means getting pregnant. Contraception means against being pregnant. Now, look for instance, a woman delivers, haven't carried her pregnancy for 40 weeks. In 6 weeks' time, she's ready to get pregnant again. The husband has been away for weeks to allow her carry the pregnancy to term. 6 weeks, the woman is ready, the man has been waiting. They meet again, she gets pregnant. She's still breastfeeding, now she has another one. So contraception is very, very important. If not, you stress that woman, you kill her.
With your response, many have argued that contraception, the use of contraception, it's a human right and not a form of birth control or a form of population control. What's your take on that?
It's a human right issue. Others too now attached to it. And we have to be sincere. You said population control. Can we cater for our population even? We can't. But then if contraception is well taken to, definitely those ones will be a fallout of it. And those that are around will enjoy maximally.
Okay.
So it's a human right, number one from that way, because if you see what I told you, no woman, let's take for example, have you seen where one matches feces and not bend his or her shoe? Does the feces have bone? You are putting on a shoe, you match feces and you still raise your leg. Why don't you continue to walk? Comfortability.
According to a recent 2017 Performance Monitoring and Accountability Survey in 7 states, Lagos, Kano, Kaduna, and some other states, women still hardly adopt these modern contraceptives, let alone have 1 or 2 ideas about them. Lagos State has about 23% leading the chart, while Kano State still has about 5% on the bottom of the chart. What's the way forward?
It's unfortunate. All hands have to be on deck. We are all human beings and we need to be at par with one another. If Lagos State is enjoying something, human beings that are living there enjoying it, I believe those in Kano too should be allowed to also enjoy same. So in those areas, we need to work very well. We need to eliminate myths and misconceptions around this issue. And like you've said, Lagos State is in the park. Look at other indices that goes around with contraception. You find out that Lagos State is doing better, while these other states are just down there. Take for instance, maternal mortality is on the rise in those areas, infant mortality as well. So what is the essence of carrying a pregnancy for 9 months? The woman dies, the baby dies. Who is at a loss? The nation is at a loss.
Okay, doctor, what could be the reason behind the limited access to the use of contraception despite increased advocacy on the part of major players the world over?
They hide under culture and religion. Some will want to prove in the Bible that God said, go ye and multiply. And they stop at that level. They don't go further to expatiate more on that. And they use that to convince a lot of people. But it is wrong. God said, go ye and multiply. Yes, He's giving us that concept that we have to reproduce ourselves. But He doesn't say, go ye and just spoil the world or the earth with human beings you can't cater for. And like I used to ask people, I said multiplication starts from what? Multiplication starts from 1. So if you have 1 child, you have multiplied. Because as I was taught, and I believe everybody was taught, we started from 1 times 1, 1 times 2, like that before we moved to 2 times 1, like that. So if I have 1, I have multiplied, I've added to my number. And that is what that book says. We shouldn't mince word. And that number you've brought forth to the world, you have to cater for.
Aside from culture and religion, do you think poverty and limited information could be attributed to limited access?
Yes, like I've said, religion and culture. One thing is to bring those things forward, and one thing is for people to use them. People still believe in their leaders. And most of these leaders, even though they practice this thing, if you go back home, they practice it, but they still come forward. Why they do that, I don't know. To give people that wrong information. And the people stick to that. But if these leaders could be made to come forward and tell the people, look, for example, we were having one problem this and before, but now because leaders embraced this particular thing and the people see them do that, a lot of people are now coming out. For example, immunization. Before, the turnout was very low. But when notable leaders come forward to now re-echo the importance of immunizing the babies, you see a lot of people now come out to now have it. So also we want these leaders to tell people that, look, contraception is for your good. Like I said, anybody, man, woman, against contraception is against humanity. The natural ones are there, they are good, but then human beings always want something, freedom, and that's where the modern one comes in. It allows for more freedom for those who want to use it. And as we've said, contraception, which is a right, I may decide I want, I may decide I don't, but I believe human being knows what is good for them, so they should be allowed to go. The leaders should step down, promote it, and then let people have it.
Okay. One of the vision of the Family Planning 2020 is to target about 120 million girls in the use of contraception. Do you see major stakeholders achieving this?
Yeah, it's achievable if all of us we put all our hands on deck. All the NGOs that are working, they are doing a lot. Government should allow them to do their work. Government should create an enabling environment. Government should support them. And when this is done, definitely, things will move. We will even surpass what is on ground.
Women have been stereotyped to be in charge of childbirth, birth control and all that. What are some of the steps to adopt a modern method? Are there types to look out for when you decided to make up your mind on a method?
Yes, you are right. It should be for the woman. But then unfortunately, we are in a world whereby men still see themselves as number one and the one to decide. But then I ask men, and they've all been quiet. When your wife dies during labor or after delivery or things like that, you love her so much. When she's been buried, you tell them at the graveside, hold on, this is my beloved wife, let me lie down on the coffin and then cover both of us together because we have to go together. They keep quiet. If you do that, then allow the woman to decide on what she wants. The woman should be allowed to make her to go forward, but then it's always good also for compliance for the men to be involved. But then what step the woman needs to take is to go to the clinic. Luckily, in most clinics these days, with effort from NGOs, providers are being trained and retrained so that they could offer quality service. So a woman goes to a provider, family planning clinic. She's counseled, and then following counseling, she picks the method which will suit her. And one thing some NGOs have been doing is to make availability of all these methods, because having a variety of methods, like we said, variety brings spice, right? So having a lot of methods will now allow women to be able to pick the method that is good for them. It will also, in the long run, remove this side effect issue that is also causing some of these issues of not wanting people to go forward and access them.
Can you please briefly touch on some of the types available out there?
Okay. Broadly speaking, one will want to say hormonal and non-hormonal. That is those that comes with hormone. And these hormones are just the same chemicals which the body produces. estrogen and progesterone. And now they come in various forms. We have those in tablet, which are either singly or in combination of these two hormones. We have the combined orals that contain both estrogen and progesterone. So also we have the ones that come just singly, like the mini pills, having just progesterone only. We also have injectables that if they are given via using injections, they too are given on a monthly basis, which is the combined, every 2 months and also every 3 months, depending on the one you want. We also have the implants that are placed under the skin. These ones are progesterone, and they work for between 3 to 5 years for now, the one we have around. We also have the intrauterine device, the ones that are placed inside the womb for the woman to use. Those ones too, we have the ones that have copper and the ones that also have hormones on them. They're acting from between 5 years to about 10 years, depending on the type you want to use. Other ones that are still not being adapted, we are hoping they will come, are the patches or the vaginal rings. We have the patches also, we have the single one having estrogen only or progesterone.
Okay.
And then we have all these ones I've mentioned are reversibles. And then we have the non-reversible. For men, vasectomy; for women, tubal ligation.
Okay. Stakeholders have argued that the use of contraception is not 100% safe. What's your take on that?
Life itself is not 100%. I'll use that to answer you. Life itself is not 100%. So, will you answer me if I may look, if I may put this phrase? You get to the airport, you are going to the US, and a plane coming, crashed, landed. Will you pack your bag and go home? You will still go. So life itself, which you are talking, is not 100%. It's not 100%. You stayed abstinence. What if this person practicing abstinence, she's now raped?
Okay. Every 26th of September is declared as World Contraception Day. This day is set aside to, increase the awareness level. But this time around, this year's theme is focusing on access to contraception with consideration of the youth at the mind. Why do you think the major stakeholders are changing campaign from the married, the adults, to the youth in the society?
The youths are very important. If I'm not mistaken, they constitute a large number, and if you do it right with them, then it will become sustained and a continuum. If you don't, then you're having problems. And mind you, the youth also have a lot of influence these days now on the adults because of the world changing order. So if we can target on them very well, definitely it will be sustained into their adult age, and then the world will be a better place for everyone.
Players now advocate increased use of contraceptives by the youth instead of abstinence. What's your take on that?
I'm with them, because even from the beginning, the Almighty God, who created us, did not push us to just one corner. He gave us left and he gave us right. He gave that to our fathers, whom we inherited our genes from. If God will do that, then why do we want to keep saying abstinence, abstinence? I'm not against it, please don't get me wrong, but that is not the only option. What if it fails? What do you do? And that's why everything must be on the table. And when everything is on the table, you'll find out that you'll be surprised. People may want to tend more for the abstinence. But when we keep cornering, that is the nature of man. Take for instance a child. You tell the child, don't put your hand in this fire. Don't put your hand in this fire. The child keeps going until how they feel. So I believe I'm with them. We will still preach abstinence. They will also preach other options as well. We are preaching abstinence, but these same people, they are in an environment that is well exposed, that is well advanced. So what do? Abstinence will still be preached and even taught, while these other ones too must be allowed to thrive and let people do what they want.
What are your final thoughts on achieving increased access to the use of contraception in the society?
My thought is that I'm praying that we'll have a state whereby everybody will be free, regardless of culture, religion, to talk about contraception without fear. Because when we talk about it, then right steps will be taken. In some families, you don't talk about it, but they do it. But when we talk about it, everybody is free to talk about it, then it becomes round. The government too is going to take it serious, that yes, we need to vote certain things in these areas. It wouldn't be left only for the NGOs. The NGOs will come and go. Government will remain. The people remain. So government too will take it up to now make sure that things are made available for people to do. Because once it's available, you go to some clinics, no family planning and presence is felt. And like someone was telling me that in his village, almost all the teenagers are pregnant. Will there be any development in that area? There won't be. But when we talk about it, it will go a long way to bring it to letting us have the nation of our dream.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing your thoughts with us on Soundhealth.
You're welcome, Simba. Thank you.
Okay. That has been Dr. Olajide Johnson, a consultant gynecologist and the Chief Medical Officer with the Ministry of Defense, on achieving improved access to contraception. Sound Health continues with trending and home essentials. Please stay with us. this is where we say thank you on today's edition of Sound Health. Hope you've learned a few things. Please share your thoughts with us on 0818-815-3695 or follow us on social media at LTV Social, #Sound Health. A sound health is a sound mind. Make healthy living your choice.